I'm talking to those of you who are dreaming of becoming digital nomads, but instead you find yourself feeling really stuck trying to figure out how to leave that damn job you hate and then how to earn a living or earn money while traveling around the globe. And those are valid concerns. So don't even feel bad about it. Everyone has those concerns. So, is that you? Are you the right person? Am I speaking to the right person? Because that was definitely me once upon a time. You want to travel around the world, you want to explore different countries and maybe even find a new home country, but you feel like it's really not certain about, or you feel like you're not certain about whether or not that's possible for you. And I just want you to know it is possible. You see all those people doing it? They've proven to you that it's possible. But it's not just possible for them, it's possible for you too. Here's the thing. It's likely you haven't done the work of saying yes to yourself. Yes, to allowing yourself to dream about life outside the United States and what that could look like for you. You haven't said yes to maybe taking that first step and looking into what other countries have to offer in terms of the lifestyle that you want or the lifestyle you need, and what you have to offer the world in terms of your skills, your talents, and just you, all that you bring to the table. You haven't said yes to all of that. And it's also even possible that you haven't said the no that you need to say, which is no to, as Lauryn Hill puts it, the miseducation you're holding on to about how the rest of the world lives, how things operate in the rest of the world, what the rest of the world has to offer. Saying no to the miseducation that you're holding on to, that you were given, we've all been given about the rest of the world. One of the things that a lot of Americans seem to be surprised about when I bring it up is that the US is only not quite 4% of the world's population. That's 96% of the world out there waiting for you. That's a room of 100 people, and you're hanging out with just these four, or maybe just 3.5 people, like 3 adults and the kid. Well, that's not a good way to put that, but you get my point. You are hanging out with these people in this corner who you're already familiar with, and there are 96 people in this room that you have an opportunity to get to know, to learn about, to hear their language, some you've never heard before, to try their foods, to explore their lives and their culture, their music. And you've never even been exposed to that. You're born into this earth and you've never been exposed to all of that. And I think it should make you curious as hell. Like me, I live for that. Maybe you do too. You feel afraid, or you just don't think it's possible for you to walk from this group of 3 people or 4 people and move to other groups and linger and just get to know other people. And by the way, this is not an introversion, extroversion thing. Because believe it or not, I'm an introvert and I still love exploring. It's just a curiosity thing and a willingness to understand that just because you, by happenstance, are born in a particular country behind some man-made borders on this big globe we call Earth, doesn't mean you have to stay in that corner your whole damn life. You can move about. Don't let these geopolitical stuff get in the way. There are ways for you to move about, and lots of ways, that lots of options. Any that I would ask you to explore are legal. There are options available to you. You have the freedom to move about. Do that. At least get curious about it. So the good news is that any of these things that you have in your head, the not saying yes to yourself about all the things you could say yes to yourself about, and the not saying no to this miseducation that holds you back, those things can change. All of that can change. So if that's you, you're who I'm talking to. You're who I intend to talk to. And today, I'm going to be having a little chit chat about how you can make this happen for you, the move abroad, the travel more, all of that. And mostly about how you can get started exploring the possibilities for earning and attracting money as you travel the globe. By the way, I'm Marcia Hylton, aka Marcia Unbound. I'm a Move Abroad advisor, and I provide tools and strategies to Black women to help them make their move abroad, to help them make the move abroad process much easier. One moment, I got a little pop-up, keeps coming up on my screen. I'm trying to get it to stay away. Sorry, guys. Let me see. Give me a moment. Let me fix this technical issue for once and for all. I don't know what I did to cause that. I'm sure it's something I did, right? All right, folks. I think I got it. That's there. All right. And I help a Move Abroad advisor. I provide tools and strategies to help Black women to make their move abroad more possible and much easier. Now, how do I do that? Well, I help Black women who are digital nomads make money to fund their lifestyle abroad, not just the move, but the lifestyle abroad. Two ways I do that: by exploring money-making possibilities that exist for them, some they haven't even begun to consider yet, and by helping them you find really clever ways to monetize their existing skills, many that they're overlooking. We all overlook a lot of talents and skills we have because we take them for granted. There are plenty of times when there have been things that I could show someone else how to do, or I could share with someone, and I just assume it's easy. Everybody's got it. The truth is, what's easy for me may not be easy for you. And there are plenty of things that are easy for you that are definitely not easy for me. Like, I can't ride a bike, and I can't swim. And worst of all, I can't dance. I'm horrible at it. But those are already things that you may be great at, and you think, who needs help with that? Well, that's just to get you started thinking. Of course, some of those things you may not be able to do as a digital nomad, as in working remotely, but I just want you to start thinking. So the first way is just exploring money-making possibilities with Black women that I help with getting to digital nomad life, getting started with making money. And the other way is initially just getting off the ground by providing really clever strategies and tools that'll help you maximize the profit you're going to make when and to save you loads of time and make the process easier when you're selling your belongings to move abroad. You want to get the most you can out of selling your personal belongings that you probably adore and you took a lot of time in purchasing and selecting. You want to maximize the money you get, but you also want to save yourself time, and you want to make the process as easy as possible. So those are two ways I help Black women in preparation for their move abroad, and also while they've moved abroad, because again, being a digital nomad continues after you've moved into your new home country, or while you're bouncing around between countries, whichever it is that you chose. One moment. Need a little. Okay. The first thing I want you to think about today is I'm going to do a little woo-woo stuff just to start it out, just initially, and then we get into the money. So the first thing I want you to think about is what your dream of living abroad looks like, because I think that's what motivates you. Like, what's your why? How does it look? So before we get into money, I want you to really have a clear vision of the lifestyle that you want for yourself when you move abroad. What does it look like? Are you traveling from country to country every few weeks or every few months? Are you setting up an apartment in a big city, in Mexico City, for instance, which is my city of, well, I am a resident of Mexico as of January. Right now, I'm back in the States. I'm selling my house. I've sold all my belongings already, my car, everything, plates, cups, forks, furniture, my art, like just all the things, right? It was my clothing, my purses, my shoes, all that. But Mexico City is, I went there early in the year. I spent about 3 months. And so I've been 2 or 3 months back and forth a little bit. And so I'm here just trying to get this house sold. But Mexico City. So you might be looking at, for you, the vision might be a big city like Mexico City, or maybe Bangkok. I love Thailand. Bangkok, for instance, or are you living in a beach town on an island like Barbados or Jamaica? I don't know. You decide. What do you imagine when you think about your digital nomad lifestyle? Are you spending your mornings working at a sidewalk cafe in Paris? I just want you to not say no to yourself and allow yourself to dream really big dreams, because it all starts there. So let's get this woo-woo stuff together, because it is really very necessary to see this as all possible so that you can sustain the effort it needs, especially initially, to get things going for yourself. You have to have that why. Okay, so once you decided to allow yourself that, and I hope you'll choose to give yourself permission right now, today, let's talk money. How can you make money? Honestly, that's the easiest part once you get past the belief part. Believe me. So if you're willing to have an ounce of faith or belief that your dream of living abroad is possible, it will be hard to if you're not willing to have that belief, it'll be really hard to step into what you want. Okay, but let's talk money anyway, because I'm going to assume that right in this conversation, right now, right here, you've said, you know what, I'm gonna give myself permission to go ahead and believe in this and start listening, learning, and taking action. Because really, I kind of know you got this. I may not know you personally, but I know we got it in us to do this. Okay, so if you've been on this earth, so we're going to talk money. So if you've been on this earth for a solid minute, your potential for making bank is huge. Why? Because, lady, you got some skills. It's if you think about the number of times you've helped other people and the ways that you've helped them, if you think about the many times you strategically and creatively solved everyday problems for yourself and for other people, many of us, me included, we came up with huge constraints and limitations in our lives. Or if you want, look at it as we came up with limited resources when we were kids, and even in our early adulthood. For instance, I was a homeless veteran in my mid-20s. I had to get back on my feet, put myself through school, all that. So we've had our struggles. There's no way, as well, for most of us as Black women, there was not a lot of privilege, and we've had to really fight. And along the way, we learned some skills that we take for granted when they can serve us and help us make money. So guess what? We sorted it out. Why? Because you've got skills, you've got that ability, the capability, and those skills can be used to earn money. So notice I'm not even talking about the stuff you learn in college, if you went to college or trade school, or the profession, your work, things you did on the job, the skills you used while you were there on the job. I'm just talking about day-to-day life skills. So I'm going to pull up my digital nomad business starter kit. It's a toolkit guidebook I created, and I'm going to share with you a lot of the notes from there. So bear with me. Let me pull it up. Sorry, I should have had it up already. It's nearby though. It's nearby. All right, here it is. Okay. Well, I'm pulling up really is the table of contents. It's 105 pages, so it's a lot. And each page has a lot of information on there. And I'm going to go through some of the sections here. I'm just going to use the table of contents as my bullet points. And there are actually 23 sections in this thing, but I'm only going to go over probably about 5 of them. And there's far more in it than I'm going to go over in each section. So bear with me. This is about making money as a digital nomad. All right. So the first thing is that you have all of these skills already there, many of which you're taking for granted. I've done it. I mentioned about how something as simple as riding a bike or swimming or dancing, some of you take for granted. You've been doing it for as long as you can remember. And people like me, I have no, listen, I dance, but it's not the kind of dancing that anyone's going to applaud. And some people might even laugh. That's how bad it is. Okay. I just got to find that beat. And sometimes once I find it, I can ride it. But some of y'all have been dancing before you can remember, before you could walk. And rhythm just comes to you naturally and you take it for granted. You think everybody's got it. Everybody does not have it. So thinking about that without even thinking about your profession, your expertise, your education, thinking about that, you can start unlocking a ton of skills that you have that can be managed remotely and that can be monetized. So I have tools in this toolkit, in this guide, that'll help you, practices that'll help you with brainstorming winning ideas, money making ideas. And on top of that, I have over almost 200 remote business ideas already in there. But the strategies I walk you through for brainstorming these ideas, what I want you to do when you're looking at this toolkit is to first brainstorm ideas using the exercises I provide. And don't just, if you're watching this, well, you are watching this, thanks for watching. I don't want you to be like, oh yeah, I have these 2 ideas and go with it. I want you to explore the hundreds more ideas that exist for you, because I want you to have options when you move abroad in terms of earning money. I want you to consider things like, outside of your skills, I want you to consider additional things like getting corporate contracts, because you can be working a lot of small jobs, or you can get a big contract that pays for your entire day. Also, before you do that, I want you to think about the cost of living in the country you're moving to. We can talk about country selection, all that, and I've mentioned that in some of my videos before. But where you are going to live might only cost half as much as where you live currently. And so you may not need to earn as much, especially if you're working remotely and you're working for clients in the West, like Americans, Canadians, whatever. Your dollar you're making is going to be much more than you need, depending on where you move to. It could mean much more than you need. So you may choose to take more time to yourself, do less, and make as much money. Or you can choose to continue working 40-hour weeks or whatever and make even more money and use the money for investments or whatever, but you'll have more cash flow depending on where you choose to live and the cost of living there. And that's why I said you had to do step 1, which is figure out what that life looks like for you. Like if you really just want to keep bouncing around and have every luxury and just have, live at the top of that food chain, of that economic chain, you're gonna, you may want to work the full day because you want to get that extra cash to do whatever you want and have extra. So you decide what that looks like first, so that you can then decide what kind of work you want to do out with all the skills you have. And then you can decide how many hours you want to work, depending on what you want to live like and what's needed in the country you choose. Also, when it comes to the country you choose, before I go back into the skills, keep in mind, people forget, they do like these country comparisons and they're thinking about Colombia versus Italy. They're different areas of Italy. They're different areas of Colombia as examples. Some areas of Colombia are safer, some are more upscale, more luxurious, all that. And some areas of Italy are the same. You have to look a little harder. You have to look at not just the country, but also the area of the country, the city. And just like everywhere else in the US, you've got areas of the US you wouldn't choose to live in. You've got areas because of the economy, but you have also areas of the US you wouldn't live in because of the subculture within the US, because it's different. I've, lived in New York, Houston. I've spent a lot of time in Chicago, and I haven't spent a lot of time in LA, but those are the 4 biggest cities, and they all have their own unique personalities. They all have different cultures. So, and that's just the big cities, the biggest cities in the US. So same with other countries. Each place has its own vibe, its own feel, and you want to make sure you're not just the economy or the cost of living. You need to look at what it feels like to live in that city or that small town, that village. Choose what works for you and what fits your pocket. So back to the businesses. So I want you to use some of these strategies and tools to get the most ideas you can out of them. I will drop the link to the Digital Nomad Business Starter Kit in the description. It is, I believe, I know it is, Move Abroad Plan, moveabroadplan.com, moveabroadplan.com/starter kit, moveabroadplan.com/starter kit. And if you're someone who wants like more individual help with that process, plus the process of selling your stuff to move abroad, plus the process of getting your digital nomad business off the ground. If you haven't read my bio, I am a serial entrepreneur. I used to own a marketing agency in Houston that I sold. I used to work corporate as a corporate marketing strategist, all that. So I have the background and skills and expertise to help you with all that. If you need that or want to learn more about getting that kind of one-on-one help, I have a bootcamp called the Digital Nomad Launchpad Bootcamp. And you can get to that by going to moveabroadplan.com/launchpad. I hope I remember that right, but I'll also put that in the descriptions. I got all these shortcut URLs and I had to try to remember them. And I really should just have them stuck to my laptop somewhere. Anyway, so brainstorming your ideas can be explosive. I will pull up, I just have the table of contents open, but I will pull up the entire Digital Nomad Business Starter Kit so I can give you a little more about that. Brainstorm winning ideas, but also other ways you can make money, unlocking corporate contracts. And I talk to you about how to go about doing that. I even give you some templates for corporate contract pitches that you can use, email templates for that. As a digital nomad, you can bring in passive income. So they're passive income streams. I give you a list of different ones and descriptions of how they can work for you. So you've got that. I just want you to know about all the ways you can be making money, because this digital nomad life is possible for you and you're thinking it might not be. I just want you to think about that. So their passive income streams are available to you, quite a few of those, and I provide you with that. Corporate pitches, I tell you about getting started with that and also give you templates to help you. And by the way, with the corporate pitches, some of you guys are like, corporate, if you've never worked in corporate pitches, I don't know where to go with that. Like, I don't have skills. I've never been a corporate person. Guess what? Corporations are doing contracts with people to teach their people how to meditate. You can do that remotely. Do meditation, right? Do for the employees who are pregnant or returning from having a baby, like providing services that way remotely as well. To exercise classes, there is a ton of stuff. Even if it's something creative, it's just you can approach it in a certain angle that have to do with stress relief or with work-life balance. There are a lot of ways for you to approach pitches to corporations without having to have any traditional corporate skills like an accountant or a IT guy or whatever, IT gal, whatever. Like, there are a lot of ways for you to approach them. So go into that a little bit, go into that in the Digital Nomad Business Starter Kit. Another way you can make money as a digital nomad is drop shipping, another passive income stream. I share a little bit about my experience with that, because while I was working in corporate and was not yet a digital nomad, I did have a drop shipping company. I had a business partner. We were both working full-time in corporate America, and we ran this drop shipping business. It was women's beauty products, and we make thousands and thousands of dollars per month. I wasn't yet courageous enough to leave corporate and be like, see ya, and go on my own. I wasn't even allowing myself the yes for any of that. No, I wasn't even taking vacations. That's how bad it was. But drop shipping, I've already proven to myself how possible that is. And it was all online. We had vendors in China. Yeah, we had vendors in China. And we got our products in. We sold products, and we sold products that were kind of costly, and they made us good money. All right, so that's one way. But drop shipping, is not the only passive income stream. And I do mention several of the others. And I also mention other popular resources for drop shipping items that you can sell, and tell you more about them, how to go about it. Then there are affiliate programs for nomads. Some affiliate programs pay good money, like hundreds of dollars per purchase, and I give you a good list of several, a couple of them that I use myself that pay well. And I want you to explore that. What I'm trying to do is let you know that there are a lot of ways to bring in money. Let's say you start out by selling your stuff. You already got bank, right? You're kind of set up to, like, when I sell my house, I already sold my car. I don't think I should usually share this on the videos. My car alone, I got like 35,000, a little under 35,000 for my car alone. And then my belongings, like I had a lot of high-end purses and shoes, and I had really good furniture and really good stuff, because I tend to make my home really it's just me. And I made my home what I wanted it to be, right? And so those things sold, and I got some good money for all my things. There was a lot of things. I had a lot of things for one person. So that was my start. And plus, outside of any investments you have outside that, or bank money you have in the bank or whatever, that was extra that I made right away. Sell my house. I have good equity in my home. That'll be additional money, right? And on top of me doing my digital nomad business work, like helping other people, prospective digital nomads and expats, through the steps I mentioned before, like outside of that, I've made money other ways and with the affiliate programs, right? All right. So that's included in the kit. Like that I provide a lot of information about different ones that you want to explore. Then there are there are countries that offer grants for people, expats and digital nomads. And I wanted to pull it up before this, but let me pull it up now because I want you to see. I don't want to leave this screen. Hold on, guys. I'll pull up another screen. I want you to see. Oh, yeah, we're good. All right. So just to name a few of these countries. So there's Greece, there's Ireland, there's Italy, in several areas of Italy. There's Switzerland, there's Canada. There, if you don't want to go too far away, there's Spain, there's Denmark, there's Chile, there's Japan, Austria, New Zealand, and more than one area of Canada. There's Portugal and several areas of Italy, by the way, guys. But there are probably more countries than I have in here and more cities than I have in here because I have cities within the countries. And some countries are just a country wide. They're having this offer. I'm looking at my Digital Nomad Starter Kit in the section about countries that offer grants to expats to come and live. So let's say you start out with some financial resources because you sold your stuff, or even if you don't, and especially if you're by yourself. Greece offers 24,000 euros. Wait, I can't be sure. I'm not sure. Is it euros in Greece? Yeah, euros, right? So Greece offers that, right? So you have that, and they have their requirements. So what I recommend is I provide a lot of explanation in here, but you want to do additional research because also, listen, this is a toolkit and I update it like every couple of months. But these cities and countries like Thailand, or which was it recently, just shut down one of their offers, one of their visas. They can shut the gate when they want to, and they may reopen again in 6 months. They have their reasons, right? So just do your quick research on the website that is specific to that country and find out if that is open at the time that you're looking. All right. Ireland has settlements. It have special incentives for you to come there. Italy and several different cities have different types of incentives, including, I think they're the ones, maybe it was in Greece, that has like you can get a house for $1 because they want you to invest in it. And there was a story, I think it was in MSNBC, they do those individual people stories where it was a Black gentleman who was around 60 or something, and he had gone and invested in a house that he bought for pretty much nothing, and that house looks fabulous, and it was a nice community that they're trying to regrow the population, regrow the economy, but it already was making progress, and he's getting ready to retire. So for him, it was just a great setup. It's not too far from somewhere else or other big towns that he can go to when he wants to. And he has this wonderful, wonderful home. So you decide, what do you want that? Remember I asked you, what do you want this to look like for you? This will look different for everyone. So you have to have a clear picture of what you want that life to look like for you. And then these choices will make more sense to you instead of not knowing where you want to go. Not knowing where you want to go, and I don't mean geographically, like what you want, what your goal is, what you want your life to look like, because it is your life. Do whatever the heck you want, man. Now, you don't have to do what your family says you have to do or what your friends say you have to do. It's the freedom you have to move about the world. It's your freedom you have to live the life that you paint, that life, that canvas, however you want it to look. It's yours. Have fun with it. Live it up. And you only get to do this once, as far as we know. So this gentleman decided that that's what he wanted the rest of his life to look like, and he took the opportunity and ran with it. Once you have that clarity, all these options will be clearer to you because then you can choose something that gets you there. If you don't have any kind of goal, if you don't know what you want it to look like, it's like getting in your car, you have a GPS, and you just start wandering around, and you can do that, but you don't really get anywhere. But if you set a if you set a destination in the GPS, then you know left turn here, right turn there, 3 miles down this road. Otherwise, it's a lot of just bouncing around and getting nowhere. And I don't think you want to live your whole life like that. So just, Switzerland has this one program. What are Swiss dollars? I don't know. So $27,000 per adult and 11,000 per child. Switzerland. Yes. Right? Switzerland. I believe that's in US dollars. Don't hold me to it. Go look it up. It's in Albinen, Switzerland is the city, the town that has this in place. But of course, you want to read through all the criteria for being able to being eligible. But you don't know. Don't say no to yourself. Go check it out and find out if it's a yes for you. Because if you're immediately in your mind going, no, that's not for me, you're really setting yourself up to live your whole life with no's when no one has told you no. You're just saying that to yourself. Go check it out. All right. You can get the list of all of these cities and countries in the Digital Nomad Business Starter Kit. It's there. It's available to you. The link is in the description for this video, and it's very, 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 very affordable. You're gonna be shocked. It's just very affordable. All right, New Zealand. I want to mention that one before I get off this list. New Zealand has a offer for, now New Zealand is kind of a pricey place to live, but still possible, right? $165,000 for new residents. Now, their thing is that you have to take local employment. I don't know why I'm starting to sweat. It must be just that. What did Tracy Ellis Ross say? Well, that time of life. Starting to sweat right now. So 165,000 for new residents and taking local employment, but that doesn't mean you can't still do the passive income stream. You might find that New Zealand's a good place for you to live in terms of what you're trying to do with your life going forward. And it might work for you, but just know that these things exist to get you started. Let those dollars start ringing in your mind. Start doing the math. You'd be surprised. I remember her last name, Adelia Shard. Don't hate me if you're watching this. But she talks about doing the math a lot. You should watch her videos about that. And that really inspired me because I was like, I had started being a digital nomad. Then I came back to the States because I had this undiagnosed illness, unexplained illness. I was moving around a lot. I wasn't really out of the States. Like I had a home in the United States, but I was traveling to a different country like every month. Working from the beach in Jamaica, wherever, in Italy, whatever, just doing my thing. And then I started having these problems really suddenly. And they're like, you don't have a stroke. You don't have. So they're telling me all the things I don't have. I know how healthy my heart is. Apparently my blood vessels are as clean as a brand new baby's, which she shouldn't really, now they shouldn't be, but it's not usual for someone my age. So I'm just fortunate because I don't do all the right things. It's genetics. But I found out all the things I didn't have. It's been 7 years off and on. I traveled still some during the years, but bounced around a bit, but it was more difficult. And last year I was watching some videos from Adelia, Stephanie Perry, and some other women who are doing the digital nomad thing. And it got me thinking again, let's get back on this, because I had taken that pause to figure out the health stuff, and we had made some progress. I have autoimmune illnesses, more than one, as is typical when you get them. And they really created new obstacles for me. But I started looking at, let's say, some yeses to myself. How can I overcome the obstacles I have? And what are my options and how can I move forward? And so I did. By the end of last year, I was back at it. And so I'm now a resident, official green card holding, I don't think they call it a green card, a resident card holding of Mexico. And I've sold all my belongings and I am back. So as soon as this house sells, y'all see me just in all the right places, right? Just trying to get around. All right, so keep in mind that that's one of the ways you can make some money is through countries that offer grants. And also let's go back to your skills, identifying the numerous skills you have outside of your work, your career, your education, and knowing that many of them can be monetized. I'm jumping around a little bit here. Let me go back with the money. One of the things I have in this toolkit is that it's about the U.S. income tax treaties. Some of you guys aren't aware of those. The U.S. has tax treaties with some countries. The information is available on the IRS website, and it has to do with how much you earn in that country, who you're working for. So I'm talking to digital nomads. Like if you work for yourself, there might be specific rules for you in terms of taxes. You still have to file taxes, but the rule, do you have to file taxes in that country you're staying in? Do you only have to file taxes in the US? Depends on the treaty. And even you always had to file taxes in the US, but even if you have to file taxes in the US, do you owe taxes? Sometimes it's like you can make up to 100,000 a year in your country, depending on the treaty, and not pay taxes in the US because you're working remotely and you're working, say, for US clients or whatever. So there are different rules for different circumstances. So there's an entire section in the digital nomad business starter kit. I don't go into tax rules and tax laws and all that because that is not my area of expertise. I am not a tax law person. I am not an accountant. I am not a financial advisor. But I do make it clear that that's important that you find that out. I point you to all the resources that exist because the IRS website is very legalese and legal speak. And there are a lot of other resources that do a great job of breaking that down for you in their reputable sites. So I point you to some of those. I kind of provide you with what you can expect from those. And I also answer some questions for you around that. So there's an entire section about that in there. All right, now back to your skills. Once you have done the brainstorming exercises to get all those skills out of the back of your head that you've put to rest because you thought you couldn't use them, and this may be things that you really love. These may be hobbies you have, passions you have that you thought you could monetize. Once you've gone through those exercises to not only pull them out, but to think about how you can use them, because there are whole strategies about how you can use them. Then I have sections about how you promote your skills, like where to promote your skills. Where do you go to put your skills out there so people know you have this to offer? And then how to market your skills. Like what are the ways you want to get out there to market it? Because getting it listed somewhere is not the same as marketing. That's more strategic. And then also, how do you create offers? Because your skills are one thing, but you make more money when you're able to build offers. So you put together a solution for a particular segment of people and using the different skills you have. So for instance, this digital nomad business starter kit, it's for prospective digital nomads, Black women particularly, who have skills that they may not have identified yet, or skills, or want to have more options in terms of ways to make money as a digital nomad, or who don't think it's possible for them, but I can show them how it is and why it is. So those are some of the people, some of the things, the criteria for someone in this offer, this digital nomad business starter kit. This is what my offer is, one of my offers. So the skills I have are helping people through that entire process, but also in developing toolkits like this. Like I've spent a lot of time, my college degree was in computer science and engineering. So I know how to write computer applications, not mobile apps. I've never done that but I've learned like, I don't know, 5 different computer languages, because computers have languages just like people speak languages. And I've had to do like mainframe programming and, desktop programming, all of that. I also know user experience training is part of that, which are things that have to do with how you interpret information, how you read information, how it looks to you on a screen versus on paper, the psychology behind that, the use of color, how that impacts people, the language and how that impacts a specific type of audience, because everyone's not the same people, like those types of things. There's a lot to that. There's a whole like levels of that. And then I use that. Companies hired me into marketing because there's a lot of behind the scenes strategy and techniques behind that, from being a computer scientist, a computer programmer, to marketing, because so much of marketing has become digital. It used to be a lot of traditional marketing, the newspaper, radio, that still exists, but by far digital media, digital marketing is what's more prevalent. Social media marketing is still digital marketing. So taking those skills from one area, one profession into another, and then as a result, learning marketing, learning the psychology and all that stuff behind that. So those are skills, and those are just professional and educational skills. I haven't even talked about the day-to-day skills that I have or that I've developed through overcoming my own challenges, through making my way through life on my own. I'm a woman who's navigated life on my own, except for sometimes having some puppies. And yeah, I've had relationships and stayed with people, whatever, but mostly I've been on my own. And there have been challenges and I've had to overcome them, and you've had your challenges and you've had to overcome them, and you've learned skills from overcoming those challenges or from the mistakes you've made. I've learned a ton of things from the mistakes I've made. There are a lot of ways to monetize all of those things, but finding the way to monetize it optimally requires you to do some exercises. And I don't want that to sound hard. It's not hard, but it's strategic. It's pulling out the creativity. And I even have tools that I point you to and how to use them to even build that out. The more options you have, the better your options. The more options you have, the more you can see how the digital nomad life is possible for you, because finances and funding that's one of the main things that keep people from leaving that job they hate and moving into and exploring the world on their own, having financial and geographical liberation, having the freedom to move about. That's one of the things. The other thing is healthcare. And there's plenty, I'm not a healthcare specialist, but I've had to look into that because of my own stuff with autoimmune, right? I have flares, I have challenges sometimes, but listen, that miseducation I mentioned earlier, miseducation about what the world is like out there, there are healthcare options available to you. There are healthcare options available to you that are equivalent to the US, but even better, there are healthcare options available to you that are much, much better than what is in the US. And they are by far, most of them, many of them, are by far more affordable than what you pay for in the US. Don't let that miseducation get in the way. There's a lot of good data out there, a lot of information out there that'll help you sort that out. So it's possible. I'm going to wrap up here because I think this is, by the way, this is video 2 of a series about this topic. I want to do a third video. It was going to be a short series anyway. I want to do a third video. I just haven't decided exactly what content that is in the Digital Nomad Business Starter Kit I should go, or if I should just choose one I've mentioned already and just go more in depth with it, like a whole chapter, and just cover that, some of that. I don't want to give you all away, guys. I mean, this is one of the offers I monetize. It's one of the most affordable things I have. It's quite affordable. You guys, probably for a cup of coffee, the cost of a cup of coffee, you have access to your digital nomad life. So check out the link in the description and in the comments. Check out the link in the description and grab yourself a copy of this Digital Nomad Business Starter Kit. Just start there. Give yourself permission today to start there. But also in the comments, leave your questions. Because I'm coming from the perspective of someone's done this, I may not be thinking of things that might be important to you related to all of this. Leave a question, leave a comment, leave a concern, something in the comments. Step into that. That could be your first step into digital nomad life. Let that first step be that. Let that second step be clicking on the link in the description and getting yourself a copy of this, the cost of a cup of coffee, right? So that's all we got today. I want to thank you. Thank you for showing up, making time, watching this, and taking notes. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you subscribe, please, because there'll be another video, and there'll be others after that. In this series, there'll be another video. Make sure you hit notification bell. So when I go live, you will be notified. And that's the best part, because you can come in and ask questions. And I can answer questions that are more specific to you, because a lot of this is more generalized, and I'm trying to make it as detailed as possible without misleading you to think that every detail I provide is just for you, whereas you can get more of that from joining the live videos and asking your questions, and even more of that by getting into the Digital Nomad Business Launchpad, Bootcamp, And for now, you can just go to the link in the description and get on the wait list. With getting on the wait list just means getting more information and being one of the first to know when it launches, maybe getting early bird tickets, getting some savings on that. But you get help with this whole process so you can plan for your move abroad, become your digital nomad in 6 months, a year, up to you what your timeline is. But if this is what you dream of, make sure you are taking these steps toward that. All right. Leave me questions. Go grab your copy of this toolkit. And I'm so glad you joined, and have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. You deserve it. Bye-bye.